Welcome back to PerpTech Daily. I'm Aaron. In today's episode, as always, we're going to have a lot to cover with Hyperliquid and Lighter. Okay, maybe not a lot to cover today, but we're going to hop straight into it. The price of Hyperliquid is sitting around $65, $66 today, just chopping around, still in this range. Lighter had a big dump recently. The price of Lighter is super volatile. It's absolutely insane how this thing trades. It's just been a complete swing of ups. Went down, I think 13-14% the other day, went up 13%, and then came down another, I don't know, 8% or something like that. It's up on the day around 1.5%. Looking pretty good. Bitcoin coming down a little bit. Bitcoin still kind of just been in this range as well. So not too much, kind of a slower day for the market, I would say, and news-wise for the PerpTech scene. But let's go to the first thing. I talked about this yesterday on the show, but I want to bring it up again because I think I didn't give it enough attention. But the White House is going to be officially meeting with U.S. senators to help advance the Crypto Clarity Act. So why do we care about the Crypto Clarity Act, for the perpdexes and stuff? Well, the first thing is, obviously, this is not going to stop money from coming onto the platforms because crypto is an international market. But what this does prevent, if this does not goes through, is probably some sort of licenses or regulation that we would like to see these platforms get. Now, the good news is, right now that Hyperliquid and Lighter are not available to U.S. People in the United States unless you're using a VPN. And none of these platforms can have them. Robinhood cannot have Lighter on its back end for its main app and all this stuff. It can't because they need licenses, etc. So the good news is I personally feel that the longer we have till these platforms like Hyperliquid and Lighter get the licenses they need to fully operate in the U.S., the more time we have to stack for cheap. I personally think we're very early to both of these two, and I think just the more time the U.S. kind of sits around and waits to give these things licenses gives us more time to stack cheap. But let's get into the Hyperliquid stats. In the past 24 hours, it's done over $1.5 million worth of fees. Really good stuff. In the next 24 hours, it's going to be about $2 million worth of TWAP buys. Super good, and open interest is still continuing to keep going up little by little, each day making its way higher. So really good stuff. Now let's go to this. Something really interesting that someone pointed out on X yesterday is that Hyperliquid changed their banner. So what could this mean? It could possibly mean a lot of things. It could mean that there's, new things to come. We can speculate on it, but I personally think this means that something big could be in the works. Maybe there's nothing big in the works and they just want to change their banner, but I kind of wanted to point that out. Pretty cool stuff. And yeah. Now, the next thing I kind of want to go over, and I don't want to make this, there's really just not too much news today in terms of Hyperliquid and Lighter, so I'm going to try to keep this short. But in every episode, I'm going to try and bring up something new. And I think a great point that Andy made here on Twitter, he said this: it's time to stop thinking about Hyperliquid, Lighter, Aerodome, Uniswap as front ends for on-chain users. Think bigger. They are building a liquidity layer for all the tokenized assets, crypto assets, and any tradable asset in this world. There are so many consumer front ends, think Revolut, MetaMask, Coinbase, eToro, Robinhood, that are going to plug these dexes into the back end and offer a superior product for their users. In this, you can see how the total addressable market, that's what TAM means, of these apps isn't just for DeFi, but all of finance, higher. And I completely agree. I think, I said here, there's a very real possibility, Hype and Lit, in the future, of most of their volume being driven from platforms that just plug in their platform through builder codes. And yeah, I think it's pretty simple as that. We're hopefully going to see this play out with Robinhood. If, everything kind of comes to fruition, we see perps come on the Robinhood and they're using Lighter builder code. So basically the Lighter back end with the Robinhood front end. So people in Robinhood are using the Robinhood front end. They're just on the app. And then the Lighter back end is what's being used to actually make all those transactions happen and stuff. To kind of put it in a layman's term. Which would be super, super, super bullish for Lighter. And it would drive crazy amounts of volume. And I kind of think that's a big thing that people don't think about. It's not just the people who are going to Lighter's front end. You're not just going in your computer, typing in Lighter, typing in Hyperliquid, and trading on the platform. As these platforms get regulated and stuff, they're going to be plugged into the back ends of other platforms that are already being used by millions of people. And that's going to drive volume and fees. And for Hyperliquid and Lighter, all the value that accrues from the platform go to the token. So really good stuff for baggies, pretty much. And I kind of just wanted to make that point right there. And I thought, Andy's definitely someone you guys should go follow if you care about Hyperliquid and lighter and stuff like that. And I think I might make an article on this. I might talk about this, kind of expand on my thesis of Hyperliquid and lighter and why I'm so bullish as kind of a liquidity layer as well, which is big. So, but there's really not too much to cover today. Kind of a slower day, but you know, of course, we got to put the video out, give you guys something to listen to. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and also make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm posting every single day on Twitter. Join the Discord, it's free, and see you guys next time.